Your island gateway to all things geek. I am your host tonight, Cal MacDonald, though I won't be doing very much else apart from introducing my my Scooby gang for tonight. And we'll go the new two new people. The newest person, Elena. Welcome to the show. Great to have you on.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
And welcoming back, Graham. What's happening, dude?
No, not much. Excited to do this.
All right. And of course, it's your third time now, Rhiannon, so that means you're now permanent property of this podcast, and you're never escaping this.
Third time's the charm, Gal. Third time's the charm.
All right. Tonight, it's the start of this ignited the backroom chat when I suggested doing a Buffy retrospective. So tonight's all about season 1 of Buffy, and with that, I will hand the reins over to, as it says on the screen, our Slayer for tonight, Rhiannon. Take it away.
Amazing. Well, when we first started spitballing this idea, I mean, the excitement was palpable. I think everybody was in firm agreement that this needed to happen. And so when we thought, we'd do one episode, now it's starting to look like we're going to do a couple. So we thought we would pick our way through some of our favourite bits of Buffy just to get us started, which was an idea presented by our very wonderful Graham. And it was favourite slays from the season. So I think we're all kind of just going to share the bits that we love the most, or maybe some iconic moments or things that just, really stand out to us from the show for all the different reasons. So Graham, as you were the person that introduced this topic, would you like to get us started?
So I think starting with season 1, I'm going to pick one that's probably not a hugely well thought of episode, but it was my very, very first episode, which was I, Robot You, Jane.
Ah, interesting. And how come this stands out to you? Like, obviously, you say it's your first episode. Is that why?
It was the first episode I ever saw. Way back at the time when it was airing on, I think it was BBC Two at the time.
Wow.
A family friend was recording 24 on a tape.
Okay.
On an old VHS tape back in today. And for the longest time I was just watching 24. And then I was just watching it, and I let the tape run on one day, and this show came on, and the effects were good, but still had almost that same sort of campy quality that Star Trek had.
Yeah.
The characters seemed real people, apart from being a weapons grade hacker, but she was a nerd. It was the late 90s. We were all weapons grade hackers, apparently. So even though it's not my favourite episode of the season, for sentimental reasons, it's my favourite episode of the season, and I will go back to every so often. And it's still...
I love that.
It's not great, but at the same time...
But it's yours, and that's what's important.
Yes.
And then look, but the thing is, isn't it? It's so cool, the kind of all the things that stand out to you about a show. That's why kind of we're talking about like these individual slay moments, because they're gonna be so different. Like so for me, even from a sort of watching and being introduced to Buffy perspective, confession, I wasn't born till the late 90s. So I wasn't. I know. So I wasn't watching it in real time. I came to Buffy as a humble pie many moons after probably the final season had started. Okay. So yeah, I know. So, but this was because now, and I'll tell you this, we had, my Auntie Catherine had all of the Buffy VHS box sets on my grandma's dresser in the living room. And when I tell you that I looked at these like peeping up over the side, like a little gremlin, until I was told I was allowed to watch Buffy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure we'll touch on this later, actually, in another episode, but I had seen Buffy beforehand, but when I was finally given the keys to the games, I can't tell you. So it's just, but that for that reason, so season 1, even in of itself, season 1 for me, it's just it's filled with so much delight, and it's nice hearing about how and sort of the episodes and things that just catch us. So that's really fun. I love that.
Yeah,
totally. Amazing. Any others? Any others, or, or should we all do a little bit and then come back?
I think if we all do a little bit and then come back.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Elena, what about yourself? Tell us.
So I was born before 90s, so I had to rush from school to catch Buffy on
Mm-hmm.
TV. So I feel like that's a different type of dedication. I didn't have to wait for it, but I had to always go quickly. And I think like what Graham said, like your favorite moments are not necessarily episodes you would say are the best, and I think that's really the case for the first season. 'Cause
Yeah.
I guess like if you to like the first season, you have to love Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
To like appreciate the silly stuff. So again, like not an episode I would recommend to someone if they only had time to watch like one or two from the first season. But I quite like The Witch.
Okay.
Just because it was like both creepy and just like a lot of different takes on woman power, I guess. And but then I also noticed when I was
I was gonna say also had the moment which, if I am spoiling this for anybody, I'm sorry, we're many decades since it's been released, but the cat, can I add, still probably one of the scariest bits of TV I've ever seen. Cat jumping out of the box. I was like, whoa. Blew my mind.
Yeah. So another one that I kind of like didn't appreciate until later is the nightmares. Because I think they kind of like show you like a good interesting side of each of the main characters. And then Buffy turning into a vampire and slaying as a vampire is just yeah.
I guess you're totally right. It kind of lets us see that like a totally different side of the character. We're introduced to these people as sort of like, it's either the fun loving or the not quite like, the sidekick vibes, or that, you've got all this stuff, but actually to then kind of circle back and see them as people and these vulnerabilities that so many of us can relate to. It's like kind of just as like Graham was saying earlier, it kind of reminds you that these characters are supposed to be us. They're supposed to be normal people, like obviously elevated in ways, but I think a lot of the things in Buffy, and as I'm sure we'll continue to talk about, like there's so many metaphors, so many metaphors, and actually it's nice to kind of have that grounding aspect. I think Nightmares is a great episode. It's kind of I understand why you think it would kind of be like one of those not like overlooked, but like I also think it's really good. Totally. Yeah. Let me think. Like if I was gonna say, so I think just before, obviously for folks at home, you won't hear this, but just before when we were doing a bit of a tech gremlins chat, I kind of said if I was thinking about iconic moments, first thing I think about in season 1 is vampire book smack on the library desk. How many of us have a notebook that looks like that? Say I. It's it's such. I mean, honestly, I'm still umming and ahhing about getting it as a tattoo. Like, I love it. I just think it kind of what we were saying earlier about that sort of what Graham was saying about the sort of the slightly campy aspect of some of the sort of the props and the sets and stuff. It's like all of a sudden you go from going, okay, American High School, this thing, to like, bam, this is the universe you're in. And I'm like, say more, tell me more. Like, so I love it because it's just it just without anything else that gets the ball rolling, and it really tells you where you are. And so I've always loved that. I think similarly along the same lines, I think, is it like, if the apocalypse comes, beat me. Like, it's just a time and a place and a moment and a vibe. And who even says beat me now? Probably no one. But like, it's kind of, it just has it all for me. Those little bits from really early on. Welcome to the Hellmouth. Just what it says on the tin. Absolutely. Oh, I feel like it's nice doing a bit of a round robin. Graham, what's your next point?
We've
Is Graham
lost
with
him
us?
temporarily
Oh, no.
here.
Oh, okay, Elena. It's me. It's me. I was going to say, oh, Graham is back. Our watcher has returned. Hello, Graham. Hi. I was just saying we were having a lovely time doing it. Hello. I was just thinking maybe we kind of just do this as a bit of a round robin. It'll be you again next, if that's okay. If you have another season 1 favourite.
Another season 1 favourite. I'm not sure. I think season 1 favourite is just that kind of introduction to Giles, actually, who is one of my favourite characters in all of literature. Sorry.
Did he inspire your title of the Watcher today?
He did. And with hindsight, my kids have said that I do have a habit of wearing tweed at times, and they have stated on a couple of occasions that I went from trying to be a Spike type when I was young to a pound shop Giles. I'm like, I'm going to take that as a compliment, actually.
Fine, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're not too old to put over my knee, Sonny. The quote a later episode.
Like, that's not like first season, right? But we fairly early find out that Giles kind of had Spike-like past.
He had a backstory. So yeah, he had a backstory,
which was always rumored to be a spin-off.
Yeah, I know. Maybe one day. Yeah, as we all know, and I mean, I'm pretty excited about reboot. We will get to that, I am sure. But like, if they were to tell me they were going to give me a Ripper spin-off, take my money. Take all of it.
Take all the money.
Take all of my money.
I'm now an adult, not a teenager, so
I can actually speak. It's like I will give.
I can buy things.
I can buy it. Give me, and I will come and watch. Oh, whose cat is this? Is there a cat?
That would be mine. He's threatening to come up.
Oh, I was going to say Miss Kitty.
No, Mr. Kitty. Unfortunately,
it's like Mr. Kitty making an early appearance.
Yeah, he's
Kitty
not
Fantastico. Oh, but that's it's all right. I'm just jealous. I haven't got my cats here with me today, so I'm getting cat envy. Anyway, that also reminds me of
forcing his way into the room.
As he should. He's like, excuse me, I have things to say about Buffy, and we respect it. We respect that.
My house.
Amazing. So Giles being such an amazing character, is that like what round it up for us? Tell us who he is.
Round up. I think. Why does he stand in episode 1, season 1? Because you walk into Buffy goes into the library, and Giles is standing there with the giant vampire book.
Yeah. That's literally, I'm not sure if you were with us. Yeah, I'm not sure if you were with us, actually. You might have dropped off the call, but that was literally what I talked about before. I was like, the vampire book set in the scene is the business.
Yes.
It completely, you go into the school, it's this all-American high school, you think you know what it's about, and whack, that book is like, no, we're telling you a story about this. And I love it. It's great.
Yeah. It's that was the bit that kind of sealed that entrance. If you like, that it was just that total subversion, which is probably something that will come up again and again about how with Buffy, all the things you expect are subverted and played with, and
metaphors everywhere. We love to see it. But I love that. I love that Giles stands out to you. I have to say as well, it's like that bit of the end of the first episode when they're like walking away, and he's just like, the world is doomed. Just like brilliant. It's like it just, I don't know. It then, whilst they've all these serious themes and all these things going on, and obviously, I remember my Auntie Catherine, again, I will talk about her a lot, I imagine, when I'm talking about Buffy, because to me they are both entwined. And maybe I'll even see if at some point she can come on, because honestly, she knows more about this than I do, and she's amazing about the knowledge. But yeah, I totally lost my train of thought there. Sorry, I was just a total tangent. No, but like when talking about like sort of favorite characters and things that stand out to you, and it's like she would always say that, you know, when you're 16, you feel like the world's ending every day, right? Like, and that's kind of what it is. It's all these like sort of big sort of life event moments for them. And you've just got Giles who, as she rightly said, the older we get, we are all Giles. All of us are Giles. And we're looking at these sweet young wee things going, you're all, it's gonna be okay. It's like, tomorrow will continue. The world ended today, you are right. But tomorrow will happen and it will be okay. It's just funny how you kind of go into, we're all Giles. We're all Giles.
Yeah. And the popular shows round about then, so you're kind of Party of Five, Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, that might be slightly later, My So-Called Life, all the kind of teen dramas, they were all the same things, but without the supernatural element.
Mm-hmm.
So you had, not only did the Scoobies have all of the things that all the other teenagers and every other show are facing, but also monsters, also actual Armageddon.
And what, who could ask for more?
So well. I know.
Who could simply ask for more? And this is why, at some point, I'm going to ask Cal why he thinks Buffy is simply all right. Because I want to... This is something that our fantastic host, Cal, was saying, that Buffy isn't necessarily the thing that... It wasn't the highlight of the 90s for yourself. And it's interesting, because it's like, again, how all of us can love so many of the same fandoms, and yet there's some kind of either cliches or notions or plays that just really stand out more than others. And I love X-Files and Buffy, and it's kind of like, but then in between, like all the other bits, you know what I mean? It's just like the bits that catch you. And I say I fall hook, line and sinker for the story of 5 kind of layout with monsters. Definitely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Elena, have we got another season 1 standout?
Well, can I say in a bad sense, like the one that needs to be split?
Yes, of course you can.
Yeah, well, like I said, like I feel quite fuzzy about all of them, even the awkward ones. But I think if I had to pick one to get rid of, it would be Never Kill a Boy on the First Date. Just because, well, the guy is quite off-putting, and also it just doesn't make sense why Buffy would want to date him. So I guess like maybe it started as a joke of like never kiss a boy on a first date,
and then they kind of.
But yeah.
I also have to agree, and so far as to say that I think I sometimes forget that episode exists. I actually, you know what I mean? Like, I think I actually forget about it, and then when I do I was going to say annual rewatch, but probably like weekly rewatch of Buffy. I actually just, every time I see it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that episode. So I was like, oh, I kind of felt not really in keeping with the pace and the theme and the people and the story. It always just feels slightly like kind of here, like as if as you kind of say, like they kind of played with the title and then somebody wrote it and they went, yeah, all right, we'll do that, and it doesn't feel very in keeping. Yeah, no, totally. Okay, so I'm definitely on team. We can put Never Kill a Boy on the First Date in the sort of, I don't want to say the bin. It feels harsh. It's quite saying the bin, but you know what I mean. I feel like I would happily, if I had to pick one,
what is the bin?
That is the one I would veto. Yeah, that is the one I would veto from season 1. That is great. Oh, a veto, yes. Okay, yeah, maybe we'll have to, as we do this, we should do like a veto episode. That's good. That is good, Elena. I love that. Anything else? Any other negatives, actually, guys? Hey, Melina, anything else that really stands out as a no?
I'm not a fan of Teacher's Pet. In fact, there's a couple. I think there was a couple of back-to-back there that it was that similar kind of
that, and then the pack, like,
oh yeah,
like, oh, like,
well,
no.
it's also like a category of episodes that didn't age well, which actually is not really typical for Buffy.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder who was involved in writing them. That we could find out. Yeah, I have to agree. Didn't age well. Not at all. Not a bit.
They were just so very much that kind of monster of the week format without the overarching narrative that we end up getting. Yeah, just really not a fan of those ones.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good point. I think that Teacher's Pet also, and again, as we were saying, about sort of like, you know, things that will come up again in later episodes, I'm sure. Like the fact that obviously the eggs are growing at the end, right? I kind of like that. I kind of enjoyed that, but I'm sad we never saw it again. Like, why was that not part of the creatures or beasties that came out late? You know what I mean? Like something that kind of harked back, and then you can all have that kind of giggle. Whereas I think that a lot of the times there are repeating jokes that happen later seasons where you go, yeah, I remember that episode. And that's fine. But you also kind of go, I wish we'd seen that monster again, or in a different way. Just to kind of clean it up.
Even one line.
Yeah.
Even if they put one line into the I'll Never Tell song.
Yes, I'll never tell.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, something.
Where Anya's
kind of...
regaling all the things all the negatives that Xander had in the past. Let's chuck him there, you know, nearly got eaten by.
Yeah. I feel like, forgive me for I feel like there must be some kind of hark back in some way where he makes like a joke about his taste in whip, like something about to do taste with women that they're always trying to get him, and I think that's to do with Inca Mummy Girl. But other than that, I can't remember. Well, I'm sure we will cut with this. Like, but it's like one of them.
It's
where,
the
like,
same episode.
Yeah. It's just kind of like interesting that we have done this format. I see. But yeah, the pack. The only thing that really stands out to it is just the fact that obviously with the eating part, and they're like, surely Xander would be absolutely traumatized from that. Like, I feel like we don't sit with that for long enough. Like that is heinous. Yeah. Like of all the things that happen, like in all of Buffy, they're going, I'm sorry? These teenagers just ate, like, surely someone needed to ask them if they were okay. Like, I realise the pastoral care in Sunnydale High is limited, but like, crikey, like, you know, good lord. Yeah, that was gross. Yeah, the pack was gross.
Is it the pack that's got the line by Buffy, something along the lines of, I can't believe that you are trying to scully me in your love of X-Files, and I can't, just to tie it, I'm sure that it's Giles is trying to convince Buffy of the supernatural element, and she's, hang on, you're trying to scully me here?
You're trying to scully, let's see, you're trying
Sorry,
to...
I've flipped that round, let me see.
Let me have a look. I'm trying to see if that, I can't remember. Oh, I'm not entirely sure.
I remember there's something in the first season.
I'm sure you're probably right. I mean, it would make sense. Like, I think that, but I guess what's interesting about that then is when we're talking about, like, you know, universes and stuff, like where Buffy exists, X-Files also exists. That's fun. Yes. Like, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure there must be a reference, because if there is, then that means that the X-Files is a show where Buffy is.
Yes. So, right.
Of this fact-checking in real time. Look at this, guys. This is, you know, duty with strength and honor. Yeah, absolutely. Fact-checking in real time. But no, that would be so fun. I like the idea that those two would exist. Yeah, of all places, Urban Dictionary apparently has a transcript here. We take it word for word.
Xander... Oh, I know. Xander begins acting strange. Giles explains it simply. Xander acting like a normal 16-year-old. Giles says, it's devastating. He's turned into a 16-year-old boy. Of course you'll have to kill him. Buffy says, Giles, I'm serious. He says, so am I, except for the part about killing him. Testosterone is a great equalizer. It turns all men into morons. He will, however, get over it. And Buffy replies, I cannot believe that you, of all people, are trying to scully me. There is something supernatural at work. Get your book and stuff.
No way.
And I'm also almost certain that I don't know if it's that part or earlier, but the book he looks up is actually what you call it? It's a real book, Malleus Maleficarum,
Yeah.
which is an actual like historic witchcraft tome type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. So that means that somewhere, I mean, it is definitely 100% confirmed through that canon, they've seen X-Files.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That is
Yep.
great. It's like, that means that actually my love of X-Files and Buffy comes together.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, super fun. Okie dokie. Right, so we've had a couple of our favourite moments from season 1. We've had a couple of moments of our absolute don'ts from season 1. I'm trying to think. What else can we? Oh, I can see him.
I'd like to put a question to you, Scoobies, tonight. The Master, how, as a villain, how does he work for you? Because he was the early villain, or does he pale compared to what came later?
That's a definite both.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think the Master for me is like he looks like what you imagine your worst nightmare to be. Like if you were gonna just be like, what is the worst thing that you could possibly think of? It's this, like this real kind of cooked turkey looking evil ancient dude who's out to get you. And Gerard. But like at the same time, I think what's interesting about that is that he's almost in a way, I don't want to say like a noble villain, because obviously that doesn't really work, but like as the characters go on, they start being slightly more insidious, or they start being things that you don't expect to see, or they start being, kind of more hidden, even the way that Angel, again, massive spoiler if you've not seen Buffy, I do apologise. Angel obviously becoming the villain at one stage, it's like, that is a whole, you know what I mean? It's like this guy, you see him and you go, he nasty. He is a scary dude. He is out to get you. And like, I can't, it's like, it's almost, I remember, actually, this is a personal story, but as a kid, way back in the day, and they were like, oh, draw us what you think, someone who would commit a crime looks like in a class at school. And so everyone draws what they think a person would commit crime. And then a girl in my class at the time drew just like a regular person. And then they were like, yes, see? And it's like, it's this kind of thing, isn't it? It's like, you look at him, you go, bad dude. Whereas as Buffy goes on, you obviously learn that these things can come in many different forms. And, for very much for worse in many cases. So I think the Master works because he sets you out where you know where you are. You're aware of what the Master is, and that works. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I guess like if we were to make a chart of the main baddies from all the seasons, he would be in top half, definitely, for me.
Yeah, top half.
Yeah.
And like I think it's well suited for the first season because you kind of want like introduction. I like that he's like kind of when you look at his like styling, he's a little bit like Second World War Germany coded with his like leather jacket. I think that probably was a little bit of like conscious decision on the wardrobe style. And I find that also like he can remain really serious and like a big threat, even though he has comic moments.
Yeah, that's it's kind of that. Yep. It's got that kind of slight relief, and there are parts of it when I kind of say like a noble villain, like he kind of almost has his own rules as well.
Yeah,
like he's quite a sort
of. He's like old school.
Yeah, he's old school villain, and he's also got his bubble. Quite literally, has his little bubble that he stays in. Like he's contained. But yeah, I have to agree. I think he kind of has that. And when you say old school villain, like you were talking about, so the costume is very deliberate, the styling of him is very deliberate, and the rules around him, I think, means that rather than the whole time us as an audience going, we're aware that this threat exists, but we have the space to be able to enjoy the rest of the world and the character development and the introduction without thinking the threat is imminent and it is now. It's like, oh, it's the harvest. Like, it's like, oh, you got to wait for that. Like, it's not a threat yet, which is kind of helpful, I think, actually, for telling the story and getting you warmed up. Getting you into it. What do you reckon, Graham?
I can't disagree with any of that. I think, he is a very good introductory villain, kind of my first big bad, if you will. And then, it does grow from there. I think the beauty of the Master, like you say, having his own rules, having his own existence, is that it does allow, because there is so much world building that goes on, not even just in the first season, in the first episode. And I think that's maybe something we should go into in a bit more detail, but straight away you learn about that you get the bit of the Slayer backstory. You get that Buffy is, Joyce says this is happening again, so there's something else going on there. You get the first couple of episodes, you get the Sunnydale's on a Hellmouth. Well, what's that? I've got high school to deal with every day's hell, like we said earlier. The whole thing just allows everything else that space to breathe. Because like you said, the harvest, it's first mentioned in episode 1. The harvest isn't happening for a while.
It's not for ages. Yeah, totally. I think I like that you mentioned about the story, the world building, because as we were talking earlier about the book is such like a that's like a complete pivot moment. But actually, you're right. When her mum drops her off, and she's going like, and she's kind of like, oh, have a nice day at school, honey. Like, try not to burn it down. And you're like, can we circle back to that, please? Like, that in itself, you're absolutely right. What a simple vehicle, and a simple and efficient vehicle, which is like, okay, it's not raw because they've obviously had to sit in this and deal with this and heal as a family. Like it's happened, and it's been pretty transformative to their entire life, and it's such a. It's not maybe simple is the wrong word, but it's a whittled down material, like way of sort of transporting this whole story that we can come back to at our own pace, like at their own pace and their own leisure, and you realize that it's going to come. You just need to kind of need to stick around to find out, and I like that. It's very welcoming. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally agreed. Absolutely.
And so, what do you think about
parts?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you go, please.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask, because there's kind of like a secondary baddie, which is the Anointed One. What do you think about him?
What do you reckon, Graham? What do you think of the Anointed One? The annoying one? That's nice. The annoying one, yeah. Yes. I really like...
Again, it's...
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. You carry on, Graham.
You sure?
No, please.
I was just going to say, it's almost very, very quickly, it's just that subversion that the secondary baddie is, in fact, a small child.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you've got old evil in the Master, small child. Yeah.
And they
will and like the whole time, like when he like first appears, you're like, so is Buffy going to like kill a child eventually, or like what's going to happen with that? It's quite disturbing, actually.
I think I actually really enjoy, and this is what I was going to say before. I think I really enjoyed Luke. Actually, that for actually, it was quite scary. I was like, I wasn't watching this. I can't actually remember how old I was when I watched it, but let's say I was just about age appropriate to be watching season 1. Though I'd obviously definitely watched it without telling people before this point. Sorry, confessionals. But like Luke was a bit scary, and I was like, I'm not sure. Obviously the Master, as we say, like he's kind of the bad guy, but the fact that this dude was like out in the world, and with his human face, kind of looks like a regular person, and he professes to be, man of the cloth. He's a holy dude. That's his bit. And actually mega scary. And the bit when he jumps into the when you think at the end of the episode that she's going to get got in the two, you know, when she's in the mausoleum and she's in the stone thing, I felt claustrophobic, man, and it felt like genuinely threatening, like genuinely threatening. And actually, it's like, you know, when she's peeping up over the edge of this like stone tomb thing, and then he's like, "Amen," and you're like, "Whoa!" Like, oh, that was deeply unsettling. So yeah, I think that he actually, despite being only there for a couple of episodes or whatever, was actually quite a striking villain to me. Bit of a nasty pasty. Yes, yeah, and effective of making the master have a creepy arm out in the world.
Yeah, which I don't get at all with Darla. Like, she just kind of is like this annoying. I mean, I guess, is it because of the outfits and the like Catholic schoolgirl styling? I don't know, but it seems like almost like a wasted potential there.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a part of me, and I think I agree with you there. I wonder sometimes if it's almost, and I don't know if this is maybe giving, I don't want to say it's like not giving any credit to that, or maybe this was their kind of like their vision was to kind of make you feel like she had kind of like, I'm like, Darla, you could have been so much more than what you were being, sis. You were simply a kind of second-rate puppet to this evil dude thing, when you were like top of your game. You were like peak evil, and you kind of just then went and followed this guy. And I was like, Darla, I would have loved it if you had terrified me. Like, that's like, and I don't know. Like, it's true, I would have enjoyed that. And actually, it was kind of me going, wow, you just kind of, you know, you've lumped in with these lot and you're a lot less scary than you could have been. Should have lived up to that potential. Like, and actually, I think putting her in like a sort of a schoolgirl outfit was almost like a condescend to her. You know what I mean? It was like later in the season, you see her in all these amazing guts and these cool hats and stuff when they're like at the turn of the century and the revolution and things. And then she's like been put in a Catholic schoolgirl outfit to like hang around a club and kind of pick up a couple of teenagers and take them back. And you go like, it's just, I wonder if it's almost a way of being kind of rude about her. Like, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Would have loved to have seen more.
Darla is the first vampire we see on screen, though. For useless information, but Darla's the first.
Are you sure?
I'm glad you...
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned the club, because not to sound all Seinfeld, but what's the deal with the Bronze? It's a nightclub, but it's also a place where high schoolers go to hang out.
Yeah.
We see the faculty hang out there.
Yeah.
Although Giles does qualify that with it's the best place to spot vamps.
Yeah.
But
maybe that in itself is a bit of a message. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to, as we say, Buffy has a lot of metaphors. And actually, you go, I don't know about you guys, I'm from a very small town, and there was certainly only one club. So it's like, everyone is going there. And like, I have seen teachers on nights out. Like, that is, you know, like in years gone by, if I was like in sixth form or whatever, like, and you go, dude, we're in the same club. Like, that is deeply questionable. And it's like, but also, so it's like, actually, small town vibes, like, they're probably not far wrong. There's probably one place, and that's the place, because it's not it's kind of next to the next block of town, not a whole lot of town around here. So it's probably just, also means they don't have to have more than one set. Sufficient. It's cheap.
Yes.
But yeah.
And also, like,
first with logic.
if we go for like paranormal sociology, right? What does it do to a small town that it's on a hellmouth? Like, would it just have been like a fairly normal coffee shop or whatever, but it's just, or like whatever nightclub, but it, you know, like, it's just like, how does it, what we know from our small towns, and yes, we also had that one club in my hometown.
Excellent. Wasn't the same one as mine, I don't think, but I'm glad to. I was like, don't know, maybe.
I mean, maybe when like during certain planetary alignment they were
Yeah,
the same.
maybe they connect and it's all one club. It's funny you say that. I love that, and that actually separate fandom. Sorry to break the Buffy chat, but in Supernatural there is an episode where there's like demons rocking out in a town, and they basically, because they're there and they're getting everybody just to do little sins and generally acting a bit bad, so that they all get. They said instead of getting people to do big evil, they just want people to do little evil, and so that, and and so they have like a bar nightclub kind of thing there, and it's like, actually, if the demons weren't there, maybe that was just like a wee little coffee shop that was quite nice. Yeah. Angel orders a lot of coffee in the Bronze. People order a lot of coffee in that building. Yeah. Could just be that it's the spooky things making it all big, bad, and ugly. Yeah. I would love to go there, though. Just a side note. Just once. I would love to go to the Bronze. I would love to be that cool. Although I'd now be like,
Can we arrange?
Can we arrange?
No, I was just going to ask Cal if we can arrange for the afterwards for Ocon to actually be called the Bronze.
I will.
And we got there first.
Okay, I will.
We got there first before anyone.
I will speak to Kathleen about that. Yeah.
Amazing. I've always wanted to go to the Bronze. Please. It's like, although we would now all be maybe sort of between 10 and 30 years older than the clientele, depending. Like, it's like, but we can sit there and drink coffee. It would be really nice. Like, yes.
George, at least once.
What's that?
Yeah.
I was going to put a question. This might be more for Rhiannon and Elena, but Graham might have a take on it. So, what Buffy's quite well known for is it tells the teenage girl coming of story. Like, how important was that to you guys in your loving of the show, and does it reflect your experiences as growing up as teenage girls?
Elena, you take the floor on this one, mate. You were running home from school for this. You tell it. You tell it, girl.
Thanks for that question. Because I was actually thinking, like, what were the other shows I really liked, and it was as a teenage girl. And it was Charmed and Xena, the Warrior Princess. Yes. And it's almost like kind of like Buffy brings both of them together, because you have the like modern world supernatural, but also kicking buttocks. So yeah, definitely. As I remember, like already as a teenager, I just loved watching a woman or young woman being efficiently violent towards someone. And I also find that they do it really well, like Rhiannon, when you were talking about when Buffy is fighting Luke in the tomb. It's not like she's always strong, like this flawless hero. But what's amazing is that you see that she's vulnerable and she's also afraid. But she's, in the end, still pretty.
Rhiannon has just vanished, I think. No, she's back. Graham, I'll take your perspective. It's quite unique, this show, like, because when we were growing up, obviously, it was very male-dominated, and so there's this one show.
Yeah.
And, like, it didn't affect your viewing of it at all, did it? That's what I find quite interesting. Yeah.
Not in the slightest. I mean, I genuinely rank it in my top 3 TV shows of all time.
Yeah.
But it's, I think, because you're getting that story where it's not your typical hero. It's that everyone in it is a bit of an outsider in their own right. I think if you kind of take a bigger look at it, you've got the kind of big themes of sort of chosen family in there as well, or found family. Because the Scoobies very much are. Giles becomes the de facto dad for everyone. And I think it's just the whole story is so well told. You don't notice that this might seem like a strange thing, but you don't really notice that the hero isn't your classic 80s, 90s action hero when you're watching it. Buffy is as big as Arnie. Her kung fu and karate certainly to me appears to be better than Jean-Claude Van Damme. So all these kind of action movie tropes and things that we grew up watching, again, it's a subversion of that by having it the small blonde girl who historically would be afraid of the monsters are afraid of her. It's all of that flipping the story on its head. That just makes it more watchable because everything else is cookie cutter. Thank you.
No, I think you're absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely spot on.
I think if you wanted the traditional, for want of a better way to put it, then there was Hercules. But Hercules was no offense to that world, but Hercules was awful. I didn't enjoy Hercules at all. Kevin Sorbo was not in any way believable. He was just a meat planet.
Well, it's safe to say he's lived down to his reputations very well the past few years.
I just want to say I'm so sorry for literally having to shoot off for a hot sec. I made a rookie mistake, guys. I didn't plug my laptop in. I'm on holiday. I'm on holiday, hence you guys, if you can see it at home, I'm in my pajamas. I've been up since 4 a.m, so I apologise, but I'm prepared. But yeah, I didn't plug my laptop in, so I'm so sorry for having to run away briefly there, Elena.
So you'll have the perfect answer to my question now you've had the chance to think.
Yeah, now that I've had the brain space to think on it. Yeah. What's the question again? So, kind of looking up to as a sort of a hero of mine, I think because, as I'd kind of said earlier, I had waited to watch Buffy. I was ready to accept all of the goodness that Buffy had to give, and I genuinely think that I have held what would Buffy do as an entire thought and concept growing up. I started watching these when I was in my early teens. Well, properly watching them when I was in my early teens, and because of the ratings, and I was very sensibly parented by my Aunt Catherine watching these, I watched them as they were supposed to be watched, age rating wise. And so actually, I kind of got that, I watched up to the back end of season 3, and then I didn't watch anything else for a couple of years, and then obviously I watched the rest of it. So it's kind of nice because I had quite a sheltered clumps of them as I was growing up, and I just always saw myself in the characters, and I saw things that I was coming into contact with in them. And as I got older, I saw a lot of myself in Faith, who obviously we will come to at some point. And me and Faith, there's a lot of things that I resonated with very deeply with her story as I was a little bit older. And then what's nice now is that actually I watch it now, and I, for the first time, and even when I was in my teens, I didn't resonate with Buffy. I wanted to be Buffy. I wanted to be Buffy so badly. And I'm watching it, I just felt like I was on the outside watching Buffy, being like, oh my God, you're amazing. And now as an adult, I watch it and I go, we're all a bit Buffy. And I love that because actually I now, it's kind of, and it's a beautiful thing being able to grow up with these, and you get to watch them at different points in your life and resonate with different bits. And now that I watch it back, I go, I feel like Buffy season 7, we will get there. But it's that look on her face. I don't want to give it away, but it's that bit right at the end. It's the look on her face of just that to me actually sums it up. It's it's not about getting everything perfect, because she doesn't. It's not about making the right choices all the time, because she doesn't. And it's actually not even that all the good guys are all the good guys, because Giles and Joyce and everyone else make some and Willow as well, they make some pretty terrible decisions all along the way. Everybody still comes together, as we were talking about, chosen family, people come back together, they make the choices they make together. There's some really big themes, some really hard-hitting concepts, but at the end of the day, they're all stood there, right by each other, going, okay, we got through, we did that, and now it's okay to be safe. And I admire Buffy, despite the fact that I'm wearing leopard pajamas. I actually have, what's sad I have many Buffy t-shirts, many, and I packed my bag to go away this weekend, and I was like, no.
But Buffy would definitely wear leopard pajamas. I feel like maybe.
Mr. Gordo, but if I did, she would appreciate it. So thank you, Lily. Thank you for the motivation.
I think with you saying there about we're all a little bit Buffy, do you see parallels in a way with the likes of The Breakfast Club then? Where at the end of it, you know, we're all a nerd, a princess, a jock, a cheerleader, a weirdo, a goth, whatever. It's almost like a long form version of that in a way then, because you know you've got Buffy, hero, girl, blah blah blah, Willow, nerd, who I don't know what's going on in Sunnydale that Willow is considered as not hot.
Yeah, I am deeply confused every day.
Yeah.
Were they? I was like, yeah, not sure about that.
And you know, we haven't even touched on Xander or Cordy to any real extent.
Yeah.
I love Cordy. I am not on the. I love Cordelia.
Yeah, same.
Oh, I mean the comic. Yep. I mean, obviously, for all of the reasons in the first season, where you're just like, wow, you are what you are, Cordy. You are what you are. But and honestly, you know what? That's a really good point, Graham. Maybe when we do another episode, maybe we can come back and even just talk about, like, you know, sort of the supportive roles and what they do, because as much as I know that there's issues within the fandom regarding Xander, and I'm sure we will come across that, but there's also great bits, and there's also I love Cordelia. I just love her. I think she's amazing. She knows no fear. I mean, but I just love. But yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. And even we barely touched on Angel, who's such a huge part.
Oh, that guy.
That old chestnut. We'll do supportive characters. We'll do romances. We'll do the big. This is the whole series, my friend. We're gonna, you know what? After this day, we're gonna go out. We're gonna brainstorm, and we're gonna work it out after we've done the season slays. What our big topics are gonna be? Because my goodness, I could genuinely talk forever on these. I get you.
Yeah,
I feel you. 100%. Carl, is there anything else you would like to put to us?
No.
Before the end of our time.
We're coming up for 5 minutes, so I think this would be just your recap of season 1 then from each of you. It would be a good way to end it.
Sure, amazing. Graham, do you want to start?
Sure.
Major points from tonight. Major points to season 1 that stood out.
Yeah, major points from season 1 would be world building, giving the characters a bit of time to develop, and just setting the scene for what's to come. I don't think we've hit on probably the objectively best episodes, which for me is Prophecy Girl, so the season 1 finale. But we can get into that another time.
We will.
But it's got everything that you want in a show. Even in that first season, you can see the seeds of what's to come, where there's humour, there's romance, there's little bits that will make you slightly scared, there's little bits that are going to tug at the heartstrings a little bit. You can see the families starting to come together and just where it goes from there, and it leaves you wanting to see more. And I think that's the best thing that either a pilot or an opening season of any show can do, is leave you wanting to see where this goes.
Absolutely. That was very eloquent. I hope my put together is half as good as that. That was pre-written, surely. That was excellent. Thank you, Graham. That was wonderful. Elena,
it wasn't.
It wasn't, I swear. It's okay. It's all right, Giles. We believe you. Yeah, sure. Wasn't pre-researched. Yeah. I'm kidding. But yeah, Alina, yourself, please.
Yeah, I would say, like, while as many as with many other TV shows, the first season can be like a bit odd. It definitely makes you want to continue watching. And what I really appreciate is that the characters are already really well fleshed out. You don't, they're not like looking for themselves, or they don't change weirdly. You can see from beginning to the end what their role is, what their attractiveness is. I guess that's also what makes you want to watch it further, because you connect to them.
No, totally. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's you've connected with them, you know who they are, and actually the character arc situation for the most part is entirely believable and reasonably and pretty consistent. Obviously, I'm sure we will touch on a couple where you just go, huh, as we did earlier today as well, when we're looking at, Never Kill a Boy on a First Date, things like that, where you just go, interesting choice. But anyway, but actually as an overarching whole, pretty consistent. Gotta say that. I think my sort of roundup points would be, I just, the absolute nostalgic adoration, the really excellent vehicles for stories, characters, vampire book, bang. At the end of the day, it's as you say, the formula was right, the cast was engaging, and just a whole lot of love for the I don't want to say simplistic, but the fun was there, and then they did right from it for the most part, and and some great, may I say, great outfits, which I also hope we will be able to do an episode on at some point, because the amount of excellent combos of shoes and trench coats needs to be studied. Yeah, at length.
So this will be the last question. Where do you rank out of the 7 seasons? Where would season 1 sit?
High. Ooh, maybe even second for me. Maybe even second.
Yeah, I was gonna say third.
Yeah, second or third. I think it's a bit of a toss. I think I'd maybe have to think on it, but I think third or second is third could be a right choice. Third could be the right choice. But fondly, a fond third. Second or third? If you say seventh, I'm going to cry.
You've got to decide. Say no pressure. You've got the decided vote that's going to decide everything forever here.
Well, that's a shame, because I'm controversial. It's not seventh, but it's lower for me. With everything that I have said, when I go back, and quite often when I do my rewatch, I will skip bits of season 1 for my shame.
Okay.
Some of these episodes where it's again, Teacher's Pet, Never Kill a Guy First Date, and so on.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Despite the little Easter eggs in there, the little lines here and there, it doesn't do it for me in the same way that later seasons do.
Okay. I think with that, I will concur. I think that's a fair argument. I think I'll go with third. I think you have brought me back down to planet Earth. I've been on season 1 hype for the last hour, and I've maybe with rose tinted glasses given it second. Maybe third is correct.
Yeah. There's definitely a few ahead of it for me, and very much one so far behind.
So I feel like we may have the same one. I wonder now.
Here's just one last one to throw at you guys. I don't know if you're aware of this, if you've listened to our previous episodes. Are you aware of the connection this podcast has to Buffy existing?
Oh, but please tell us.
Do you know of an indie sci-fi film called Coherence? Yeah, and who have we had on this podcast but the writer-director of that film? And he directed the Xander actor in that, so... There you go. So we've got a little bit...
So 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but with Buffy.
Yeah. So there you go. You guys all now have a almost direct link to Buffy.
We do! Oh, other than the direct link in our hearts. Yeah, it's
I bring people together.
You do. You are a master magician, coordinator. Well, this has been an absolute bucket of fun. Oh, sorry, Graham.
I was just going to pay Cal back for that one. And ask him if he realises that means he's got a second degree link to Deep Space Nine.
Yes, I know as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
Yep.
I know that one very
One of
well.
my favourite things about the next season.
Oh my goodness, guys, this is so sweet.
And
Well,
Anyway,
as I was
the
saying,
other two-
this has been a
the other-
delight.
yeah. And the other takeaway is, Rhiannon, if you're an X-Files fan, you really have to watch Millennium now. And
Yeah,
join
no,
them.
that's don't worry about it. I will get that on the.
You will-
leave the watch list and enter the watch
Yeah.
list.
Yes,
Watch list.
it will. I'm almost guaranteed you'll flip your opinion on the X-Files once you watch Millennium. It is
Bye.
way superior, I think.
That's a large claim. That's a large claim, Gal. But I'm willing to make that bet.
it's-
I'm willing to take.
Ah.
it actually is.
I'm
Yep.
so excited. That's the best news.
Okay. Well, thank you, my Scooby Gang, for this. And that
This has
ends.
been
That's
so much fun.
That's part one of goodness knows how many till we cover the whole Buffy version.
I was gonna say, we can keep this going. We can keep this going.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining and tune in on Saturday because we're talking to Klingon Pop Warrior, and I can confirm everyone in that show is going to be in full cosplay, and we're joined by the lovely folk from the Scots Klingon podcast, so it's going to be the nerdiest of nerd fests on Saturday. So
I
tune in for
cannot wait
Sounds
That's
amazing.
to hear
Yep.
anything more. That is.
But thanks to the three of yous, and I think don't need to ask if you will be back now to talk season 2 and sometime soon.
Yeah,
Yep.
defo. We'll get that
Yes.
in the calendar. But honestly,
Yeah,
it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, so just everyone like,
Thank you.
follow, subscribe, leave us a review, all that good stuff helps us out a lot. And thank you to my 3 co-hosts, and thanks everyone who tuned in tonight. And we'll speak to you all again soon. Bye.
See you then. Bye.